It's that time of year again for one of the most highly anticipated festivals in the BVI, the Virgin Gorda Easter Festival. And this year is a big year because it's a golden year. And with the Easter weekend just around the corner, we had to ask the chair of the Festival and Fairs Committee, Trevor Grant, to join us. So welcome to the big story, Mr. Grant.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
And so, Kathy, let's begin with the air that exists at this point over there in Virgin Gorda. You are fresh from Virgin Gorda, where you saw both sides of the coin. There are preparations as it pertains to festival, and there are other preparations taking place. What's the atmosphere over there?
Well, it feels like festivities in the air when you're at Virgin Gorda. I felt so good walking through the streets of Virgin Gorda just a few days ago, seeing persons preparing the town for this festival. People are grooming their gardens, they're cleaning the streets, they're painting murals, and then there is the other side. There are some construction works that are going on, some infrastructural works that are going on, and all in preparation for this big 50th.
So, Mr. Grant, we can't get into the meat of the matter without finding out if any of these works that are taking place on the ground are going to impair the big weekend in any way, shape, or form.
Well, there was an issue with the main route that we normally take, the Lee Road. However, since that, I've had meetings with the Honorable Minister of Education and Culture, Honorable Myron Walwyn, who's in turn had meetings with the Minister of Communications and Works and their team. And we just literally got off a conference call just the day before. And the Honorable Minister and his team confirmed to myself and the Minister of Education that the Lee Road will be ready for the festival. And this is was one of the biggest things that we could announce, because there's a lot of anxiety behind that because of that route. It's the most easy route to use. It's more direct. There are also vendors that normally set up stalls around that route as well. And it's great for viewing. It has a lot of positives behind it. So the Honorable Minister of Communications and Works, Honorable Mark Bantapool, made sure that his team will be working tirelessly throughout the day and night to make sure that that road is going to be finished for the festival. And the main works is the sidewalk and the drainage that's going to be finished. The road rehabilitation, that will take place after the festival. The road is still, still very usable, but the sidewalk and the drainage part, that's going to be finished for the festival. And that was the biggest concern.
Okay, good. And briefly, what can you tell us about this ferry, the plans regarding the ferry dock?
The ferry dock, I know that the BVI Ports Authority is planning some remedial works on the ferry dock. I've been in conversation with the acting managing director, Mr. Al Henley, and he has assured us that nothing will take place as far as remedial works to the ferry dock until after the festivities.
Okay, so getting in and out will be a breeze.
Yes.
At least in the immediate term regarding the festival.
Exactly, and Speedy's, who's actually also one of our sponsors, has done as they do every year with putting on later ferries to accommodate persons coming from Tortola. So that's great. So you can come out and enjoy the festivities and actually still go back to Tortola the next morning.
No, 50 is a big deal. I mean, that's a significant landmark for the VG Easter Festival. So what is it that's so special about the festivities that will be taking place this year as against any other year?
Like you said, because it's 50 years. And the Virgin Gorda Easter Festival Committee that's headed by Sasha Flax and all the great volunteers that are with her, they wanted to make sure that this year there's some honorees, and the honorees are the persons that were instrumental in actually starting the festival. I think you did some work on that. The honorees we wanted to make sure that they're the highlight of the party, because if it wasn't for them coming up with the idea starting the Virgin Gorda Easter Festival, we wouldn't have been here talking about it right now. Event.
And that includes renaming this year's village after Bernice Sprov.
That's right.
And the fete will be renamed as well in honor of
Mr. Neil Blyden.
Tell us about that.
That is, this decision just is very recent. So this is a very welcome decision. Mr. Blyden, as a lot of people know, he actually sort of revived and took over the Wet Fete. He has done a lot for the Virgin Gorda community as far as helping bands get to where they are, Virgin Gorda bands especially, and local bands. And he has done a lot of work in, promoting the Virgin Gorda Easter Festival, and you'd hear him on the radio.
And the people of Virgin Gorda too, they are so enthused about this idea of, honoring Neil Blyden.
Let's get into the activities that are planned.
Yes.
Now, it's 3 days of excitement and niceness. Tell us what persons who are going to go over can expect starting on not starting on the 15th, but there is a new inclusion to the lineup, a concert.
Yes, it's a gospel concert actually, and that will be done on the Easter Friday on the basketball court over in Virgin Gorda.
Wow.
And it is actually put together by a coalition of local Virgin Gorda churches that they want to make sure that the reverence and the holiness of the reason for the season is kept.
Because that's been
nice.
a long-standing
Yes,
concern.
it has been. And the Honourable Minister, Mr. Myron Walwyn, also, he's in agreement with that. And so he has come on board as well as with the Festival and Affairs Committee. We've actually, sat down and talked and met with the church coalition. And we are also one of the sponsors of their church event. So, we wanted to make sure that there's a room to play for everybody.
So something for everybody, not just
Exactly.
those who want to be out and about having a good time, but those who want to be more conservative in their enjoyment of the Easter
Exactly.
weekend festivities. So
Exactly.
that's an
thing, yeah.
excellent addition.
And what I understand also is that they're going to be bringing in international artists as well for that concert.
Yes, I think there might be either one or two. We're just awaiting the confirmation of their artists, and they're going to be featuring local artists as well. So it's something that's for the
good.
church-going community to enjoy as well.
It gives credence to the significance of having
Definitely.
a conversation.
There you go.
Because this
Right.
conversation of festivities during a Lent period, this is what it has emerged to. And this shows the importance of a community really working together. Coming together
Which was,
eventually.
he spoke about the interviews that I did the other day with the founding members of the committee, and that's exactly what they spoke to, which is,
Yes.
it was about unity, it was about communal spirit. So, I
Correct.
mean, it cannot be that this changes over the years as the legacy improves. So it's good that the church and the wider community are finding a way to work together
Yes.
again as it pertains to the VG
I
Easter
agree.
Fest.
I totally agree.
All right, so let's talk about what's planned now from the 15th through to the crescendo on the 17th.
Okay. Well, we have some really good entertainers coming in, and everything starts on a Saturday. So it's a Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. So the village opens on Saturday. So the opening ceremony where we're going to be honoring the honorees.
Yes.
And actually, the official opening of the village happens on Saturday at the festival ground in Virgin Gorda. And then there's a fisherman jamboree during the day.
That's
there
big.
as well. Yes, and we also have the food fair that takes place during the day on that Saturday
On the streets.
as well. On the streets,
Yes.
It's actually going to be on
the festival ground
no,
this
no,
year?
No, on the grounds of the Virgin Gorda Yacht Harbor, and we have looked into to possibly honoring one of the members in there as well. So there's
Okay, so there's still more.
there's
that's
still
to
more.
come.
There's still more.
Okay.
And then at night now, then you have the international acts as well as local acts. That night we have, of course, we got Jacquier from Jamaica, and of course we got Rock City. And
VG favorite.
Yep. And we got a lot of good local acts. We got Sister Joyce, we got Hardcore Band, and these guys are, these are nice Virgin Gorda bands that are
Yes.
making waves internationally as well as locally.
Yes.
Now, as you go forward regarding the VG Easter Festival, because you'll have to top the 50th observation of it, you'll have to top that. So going forward, what are the plans to preserve the legacy and communicate to the wider territory the legacy of this festival and why it's such a significant cultural contributor to the territory and not just VG?
I think there's a planning ahead and planning early says a lot. It has its place in making sure that something comes off successfully. So right after we finish this year's festival, of course, we have to do all of our bookkeeping and all of our reports. But shortly after the reports are assembled, of course, we will start to plan for next year.
Because there are always challenges, because there's
Yes.
always more to be done. That's,
Of
the
course.
task is bigger than the committee itself. So what are some of those tools that you're in need of as you move forward?
Well, sponsorship, money is always an issue. Of course, all festivals are highly subsidized by the government, and but we would not be, able to do it if we didn't have sponsorships. So all the businesses that normally sponsor festivals, I want to say a huge thank you as a chairman to all the businesses that come on board. I want to also appeal to people to support these businesses especially,
Yes.
because it's their support of the businesses, your support of the businesses that helps them to be able to spend the money and give the money to the festival. So we also always need volunteers, and thick-skinned volunteers, because it's not an easy job. You get criticized for a lot of different things, and everyone's an expert. But the same people that are very quick to give you advice, come on board. Come on board.
Yes. Contribute the
Exactly.
very things that you see that need to be done.
Exactly.
And so while we have to leave it there for this segment of the big story, guess what? We're gonna go to that interview that I did with the 4 remaining members of that original 6-member committee for the Virgin Gorda Easter Festival Committee. They are the ones who started all of this, and they're proud of the legacy that they left behind. Let's take a look at that.
This go back a little now before Easter, where I'm concerned. Not Easter, the festival. Because I used to have a place which used to be called Andes by the Sea, which is now where we're at, Fisher's Cove. And I used to have activities Saturday, Sunday, Monday. And it was a booming success. But then as time moved along, it got a little hectic for me, and I see the need to have more people going out and preparing for the people that used to come. The group of us that got together, we work our butts off to get it going.
Easter weekend was a weekend of picnics all over the place. So the then representative, Hubert Robinson O'Neill, I don't know who shoveled the idea to him, but there was a public meeting called in the Ashford Waters Community College. And those of us present and the deceased was in attendance, like many others. And there it was put forward, rather than picnics here, picnic there, why don't we have our festivities similarly to Totola? We raised funds. We did not, or rather we didn't know who to go to other than to work our butts off. No government to give us nothing. We created activities. Good old Andy, with his influence, our first queen came from North Song, Lydia Sproul. Must be family to Bernie's husband. And we didn't used to go by beauty and what? Bikini and them type of thing. We used to sell tickets. We make up our own tickets and we go around selling. And the individual who sell the most tickets would become Miss Easter Festival. And guess who used to crown our queen? The governor of the day. When there were not enough items for a program, we used to partake in the program. I think I still have my laundry that I fashion. But of course, rather than going out so naked, I use a pair of fishnet. They were in style then, black fishnet pantyhose. And the parade, we would have people like Steve Green It's a pity I never see him around to any of what's going on. But if you know Virgin Gorda, during Easter Monday, that's fire. And this man on a donkey used to be clad in this iron outfit, leading the parade without a fuss.
Well, I can say for the parade, we also had a lady by the name of Elaine O'Neill. She used to dress every festival in her own made costume, and she would come out with her one person entry. And she always, I think I can see her dancing right now to the music and having a good time. And she would walk for the whole of the parade. Some of the older men who used to play, you know, for Christmas and so forth with their fungi band, even an old bathing pan with a string, a rope on it. So it was very entertaining, despite the fact that we didn't have the big orchestras and things that we have today. We had music to which we danced all over the place. Later on in the years, when we accumulated some more money, then we were able to bring a band or so from elsewhere.
This great festival has church backing, holy beginnings. What are your thoughts on what some persons have said?
Let me tell you something. God is our judge, and if there's something wrong about it, that time, the way we're doing it, He will speak to us. But I think the festivities, as you hear the background, we came from people who come up here to go on the beach. Boatloads, every Easter Monday.
There was one president tried to do something Holy Week, and it went out the door because we felt nothing should happen. We are Christians. We may not have our Bible under our arms, but that's the way we were brought up.
That's it from right here on the big story for this week. Remember, head on over to the VG Easter Festival this Easter weekend. On behalf of Kathy Richards and Trevor Grant from the Festival and Fairs Committee and Peter Gay Coombs, remember to check us out on Facebook, YouTube, and daytvlive.net.